This program contains adult language and situations which may be considered offensive to some viewers and/or children, but more likely their parents.
Hey, retards. So, I went to go see Dr. Nintendo today. First I had to go and I had to go to the physical therapy for my wrist. They're saying, oh, like in the beginning they said it was a fracture. I had a fractured wrist. Now they're saying there's nothing wrong with it. And now they're saying that I have tendinitis in this part of my wrist, and I have to like do hand exercises and all that bullshit. And hi Grady. I guess I'm getting enough. I'm going back into the splint again soon. So I mean, I'm going back into the splint, but ow, they're making me up a new splint. I guess it's a little different. But I went to go see Dr. Nintendo today, and yeah, he had another order for me, which is now by proxy. It's a judge's order. Because I have to follow whatever the therapist says. So, if a therapist says to go jump off a bridge, by proxy, I would. That's a judge's order, and I could be held. I could be charged and arrested for criminal contempt. It's a misdemeanor, 1 year in jail if I don't jump off a bridge. So, what did Dr. Nintendo order this time? Well, let's see. Last time I was ordered to move, so I have a year to move. I was ordered not to talk to my parents because they're dumb, and I was also ordered to learn how to drive. So I have to stay away from my parents. I have to move within a year, and I have to learn how. I have to get my driver's license by June 21st, 2018. But now he ordered me to do something else. What do you think that is? Okay, so get this. He told me that he suggests that I get a girlfriend. Yeah, so now if I'm single on June 21st, 2018, I could technically be charged with a misdemeanor criminal contempt of court and 1 year in jail if I don't have a girlfriend by June 21st, 2018. Well, better get cracking now, right? So, I mean, yeah. Could you imagine it? I would be charged with a misdemeanor if I don't find a girlfriend by that time. Because now by proxy, this is a judge's order. Because I'm supposed to comply with whatever the shrink tells me. Okay? So let's break it down, shall we? Out of anything else that my parents were trying to get me to do, you know, see a shrink, get on medication, everything that my parents were hoping for, getting in front of that judge, has not come true. And instead, everything that they don't want is being ordered by a judge. Like, they don't want me driving. So what's going on? It's a judge's order that I drive. Let's see, I don't really give a shit. I don't think they really give a shit about me having a girlfriend. But now it's a judge's order that I have to be in a relationship by next year. Oh, holy shit! Hold on. Hold on. This smoke alarm might go off. Just hang tight. Just. I'm cooking here, so that means the smoke alarm has to go off to signal that I'm a bad cook. You know what I'm saying? It might go off because I could smell the smoke. Oh yeah! Please don't fucking go off. Please fucking don't. What the hell? Please don't go off. Please don't go off. Okay, yeah, so by the clockwork. So everything that they wanted, the shrink is not ordering me to do. Kind of backfired on them, huh? Kind of backfired on their asses, right? It was probably the worst mistake they've ever done. Because now it's either I have to. Now it's like I can either not learn how to drive, or I can just go back to jail. The judge is going to see this and he's going to say, you didn't comply with any of what Dr. Nintendo said. Put him in jail for a year. You didn't learn how to drive? Go to jail. You don't have a girlfriend? Go to jail. You didn't get to move within a year? Go to jail. Go right to jail and don't collect your $100. That's what the judge is gonna say. He's gonna say, go to jail and don't collect your $100. You know what I'm saying, dog? So it's literally everything that they wanted, everything that was hoped to accomplish by going to a shrink has now just been, the tables have turned, and now the shrink doesn't want me to do any of this. The shrink wants me to have a girlfriend. The shrink wants me to what do you call it? The shrink wants me to learn how to drive. Wants me to move. That's fucking hilarious, though, to be honest. Doesn't want me having contact with my parents. You weren't expecting that one, were ya? Could you imagine imagine it though? Could you imagine if like June 21st comes around and the dicks from the Cheektowaga court or the Cheektowaga jail come to my house, knock, knock, knock. I answer the door, they're like, you're under arrest. And I'm like, how come? And they said, you failed to get a girlfriend, you failed to learn how to drive, you failed to move, so you have to do all that, and then or you got to sit in jail for a year. Because that's a criminal. That's now a criminal. That's violating a judge's order. Oh! You thought the judge's order was just staying away from the dizzy broad? That judge's order is a lot more than that. So I think things are going good for me. By the way, I think that apartment that I was looking at, I don't think I'm gonna take it, because it's gonna be like one of those things where I'm gonna. The thing is that it's $600 a month plus security, and then I have to also pay all gas and electric, and it's within my budget. But the problem is that there's people living in that house already, and they're gonna be out at the end of August. But the landlord wants that place rented out like as soon as. Wow. Are you fucking serious? I just got 5 friend requests from bot whores in like a minute. Okay. So, what was I saying? Yeah, so what it is that the landlord over there wants me to, he wants to get those guys out, but he wants me to come in like the day after they're out. And that does not give Belmont time to, inspect it. So it's like I would have to put up security and first month's rent all at once, and it's not. And the county says that I can't do that because Belmont, they should be paying part of the rent. They're like, you have to look for an apartment that's already vacant, because we're not going to be putting up $1,200 for something that should cost like $800, Fucking ridiculous. But I don't know. I mean, Belmont said I can do it, no problem. It's just that getting the county involved now just makes everything so much more difficult. You gotta get like 4 people working on the same page. It's ridiculous. You have to get my present landlord working on the same page. You have to have the landlord over there working on the same page. You have to have Belmont working on the same page, and you have to have the county working at the same page. It's ridiculous. And I gotta go and coordinate all of this. Oh well. I can't stand this Lovejoy shit anymore. No, it's like getting to the point where this area, this Lovejoy area, is unlivable. And, you know, I know what my mom's thinking. She watches these videos. I know it. You know how I know it? Because I get cops called on me. So I know what she's thinking. And I know what she's thinking. She's like, my son's an idiot. He's taking everything that the shrink is saying literally. There's no judge's order that says he has to get a girlfriend. And there's no judge's order that says he has to move and all that. Funny how you would say that I'm taking all that literally. But if he says, I suggest you go on some kind of medication, that's not, that. Oh yeah, you would be taking that literally. It's like you can't just sit there and, you know, ignore everything else, but then, you know, focus in on medication, because, like, that's what drug addicts do. They tune everything out. You ever hear that saying, what is it, tune in, turn on, drop out, or something? It's like some drug addict phrase. It just means that, like, all the drug addicts think about is drugs. So if it's like, if somebody's on drugs and somebody tells them, hey, you should do something better in your life, that means it's like a code. Or not a code, it's like a slang. It's like, dude, tune in, turn on, drop out. Means you don't have to, it's like a drug addict code. It's like saying, yeah, I'm just going to ignore everything that everyone says, but if someone's trying to sell me drugs, then I'm gonna take the drugs. My mom says that the machete is illegal. Yeah, machete's illegal, unlike your pot. Well, you get all bent out of shape over that. You know what? That day that the cops were here, I should have actually told the cops, you know, I'm fine. It's my parents you have to worry about. My dad has hemophilic tendencies. Okay. My parents are drug addicts. You know. And that's that. And if they ever called police on me again, that's what I tell them. Be like, you know, listen, you could do a really good drug bust over at my parents' house. They have pot and fucking pills up the yin yang. They have enough pills for intention to distribute. Intent to distribute or whatever. They could be locked up for 20 years. So you better sit that down in their home. Plus you might be getting a dangerous hemophile off the street. You know? Seriously though, my mom justified him watching Hannah Montana by saying that he watches it because it brings back his childhood or something. That's the stupidest argument that I've ever heard for someone being a fucking hemophile. I mean, if you want, okay, I can get this. If he wants to watch Leave It to Beaver, that would be bringing back his childhood. But saying they brought back his, you know, he was like fucking 50 when fucking Hannah Montana came out. How is that reliving his childhood? Watching shows from like 5 years ago. That makes no goddamn sense. No, it wasn't like he had Hannah Montana back in fucking 1957, 19 to 1960. You know. Made no goddamn sense. He was born 1957. He wasn't born fucking 2000. He'd be 17 right now. Which, even if he was 17 now, that would make it appropriate for him to watch that. It made it appropriate for him to say, that's a hot girl on TV. I don't think any 17-year-old would say even, I wouldn't even think any 17-year-old would even say, that's a hot little girl. And that demographic says some stupid-ass fucking shit. You know, that he'll 17-year-old probably just say that's a hot girl on TV, which would be okay because she's in his age range. You know, but having a fucking 6-year-old man scoping out the fucking high school, that's a fucking weird. That's fucking sick. A 33-year-old man scoping out our high school. That's fucking sick too. If I was doing that, I'd be arrested. If I was sitting there watching the fucking, prowling around the high school, I would be arrested. Because you know why? Because that's fucking sick. If I was fucking 16, it would be excusable. What, a 60-year-old man, a 33-year-old man? That's fucking sick. Even a 20-year-old, I could probably understand. Because 20-year-olds do stupid shit. And it's understandable. But my dad was fucking 60 years old. He's old. He should be like, in another 5 years, he'll be in a nursing home. Well, what's that saying again? Be nice to your children because I get to pick your nursing home or something like that. So be nice to me because I get to pick your nursing home. And you know where you're going. You're going straight to that place in Niagara Falls that they always talk about where it's nasty and dirty. And you have to live with the other nigs in Niagara Falls. Be like, well, I got private insurance. I get a private room, and you did no. Your white privilege ends there, sucker. You're going in low income nursing home. My mom is already going senile. You know, I think she has Alzheimer's or something. She's going senile. She's not in touch with reality. By the way, Dr. Nintendo told me today that he can tell that I'm in touch with reality. That's something you can't tell. And he actually said that too. He actually used that phrase, in touch with reality. When have I ever not been in touch with reality though? Oh, you mean every time you say it? Hi, Grady. Hi. You mean every time I masturbated in a doctor's office? Hold on a second. How does that not make me in touch with... It make me in touch with my fucking self. That's what it makes me do. What? Masturbating in a doctor's office doesn't make you perceive reality different. I mean, what exactly does that mean? Because when the cops were here, they were asking me, what day of the week is it? and who the president was. What if I just said something like, I don't know. What if I said something like George Washington? Or like, I don't know, someone stupid like, I don't know. That would, I mean, that he was a president, but not today. I mean, like what? Dr. Nintendo today suggested that my mom come to my counseling session. And I'm like, I don't know if she even wants to come. I said, but you could try. So I gave him her number. And he's like, so do you want her to come? Do you want her to come with you or separate? I mean, what do you mean? He's like, well, I just want to get a feel on their side, what they feel about you. I'm like, she's coming with me. Because if she's left unchecked, she will feed you a line of bull. She will have you convinced that I went to this space camp or whatever the fuck when I was like fucking 2. Yeah, she's telling everyone I went to like NASA space camp. I'm like, no, I fucking didn't. It's like, oh yeah, well you're too young. No, I fucking didn't. People need to. My parents need to stop lying. What purpose does this make it? This is what I'm trying to figure out. My problem is that I try to figure people out too. Here's the thing. My Dr. Nintendo actually pinpointed what my actual problems are. He says that I'm a nice guy, but with that nice guy, I try to help people. I don't, I care about people a little bit too much. And with that, like for example, when I got arrested in May, the whole thing was that I was concerned about the girl's daughter. I was concerned about her baby or whatever. And that's what pretty much started the whole shebang. So I care more about the baby than I do about her. You know what I'm saying? With Baloney Arm, with Chris Baloney Arm Lococo, I cared more about him than I did about his girlfriend, because, I don't care if he has a girlfriend. I just think it's shitty of her to be doing what she was doing, which was getting all pissed off whenever me and him would go out to eat or something, while she was at work. I mean, what does she expect? Like, us to just sit around all day. I don't know, but it's a weird thing. And I was concerned because my other counselor said my last counselor said that could be considered emotional abuse. Not really like a physical fist fight type of thing, but it's considered domestic abuse. It's considered like manipulating your partner, your lover, whatever. And and the whole thing with the computer and him putting a password on the computer, that I was told that was considered abuse. That's considered abusive. So I thought that was kind of shitty. So I'm trying to help my friend, and it doesn't really come out, that clear that that's what I was doing. But yeah, I was trying to help blow the arm, or like when my dad's over there, watching his little girl's show. That's a hot little girl. And he's saying that, and at the same token, he's holding a fucking baby that he's supposed to be babysitting. He's saying that about a fucking 14-year-old girl, while he's supposed to be, And I said, because every time that baby comes over, because my mom babysits his baby for someone she knows. I always ask when the baby's coming, because I feel like my dad needs to be watched while they're watching the baby, because he has tendencies to say that about a 14-year-old girl. Who the fuck knows if he likes to go a little lower than that, if you know what I mean. So I'm looking out for the baby, and I don't see why this is like frowned upon. I don't see it. I'm like, in my mind, I felt like I was helping my friend. I felt like I was helping the protected party's daughter, even though the protected party got mad and had me arrested. That's my opinion, and I don't know what the fuck's going on. I hope she changed her ways. I really do. I really do. At least for that kid, I really do. I'm not going to go into the whole thing. But I really do hope so. I hope. And I feel like I'm just looking out for the little man here, so to speak. That's what I'm thinking about. But I told the shrink, I was like, I get so lonely, but it's like, I also feel on the same token that if I get friends, I'm gonna just do the same shit that I'm doing now, which I'm gonna be a little. I care a little too much, and then I start seeing shit that is going on that they're not realizing, and it happens. It's not about being not in touch with reality. It's about, because when it's like when you have a girlfriend, you put up with a lot of their shit. It's just what you do in a relationship. But in the same token, it doesn't give the other person, and if, you know what, if it was her, if it was him doing it to her, if it was him doing all that psychological abuse bullshit to his girlfriend, I would probably stick up for for the girlfriend over bologna arm. You know what I'm saying? That's that. You know, I'm always about looking out for the little man. But that's just the way I am. It's like it's like when, like, recently I wrote a song, okay, and we all know what the song is about, and I recorded it and I put it on YouTube. No, it's not about the protected party. It's not about the girl who had me arrested. It's not about her. I'll be honest. I'll be straight up honest with you people. It's about Brian Hewlin. I don't know if you people can't see that already, but it was about him. Names weren't mentioned, but I mean, I think, you know, I look back on that song that I wrote, and I'll be honest, like, it's actually a little bit deeper. Like, I didn't use his real name. I didn't use his kids' names. But that song actually could be interpreted a little deeper than just me making fun of Hewlin, you know? Because, hear me out here. Hear me out. Okay? I know Hewlin wants the best for his kids. But I don't know if Hewlin knows how to give the best. You know, he wants the kids. I get it. He wants, if he can cure the kids, if he can find a way to cure the kids so that they have a normal life, he would. Okay, and that's what I congratulate about Hewlin, is that he cares about his kids. But the way he does it is just so neglectful. It's just like, from someone looking in from the outside, it sounds like I see him and he's always at metal shows, and he's always drinking, he's always buying cigarettes, like he always goes outside and smoking, you know. So he's spending money on booze, which he doesn't even fucking need, cigarettes, which he doesn't even fucking need. He's always talking about buying weed, and he's always going to metal shows. He's always, I mean, it's a good thing that he's helping out the scene. You know, he put on a show for a memorial show for Tony Lorenzo, who died. I mean, it's a good thing what he's doing for his scene, but in reality, he should be looking out for himself first. He should be looking out for him and his family first. Don't try to put on a big, expensive, extravagant shows for dead men, you know, because we could have had 1,000 other people do this as well. You know, you could have had the family of Tony, you know, put this on. It would be a good thing. You know, it'll be a good thing. You're celebrating. You're not mourning. What was it that people say? You're not mourning his death. You're celebrating his life. That's what you're celebrating. You're celebrating the good life that he had. Okay? So I commend him for doing that. In a way, Brian is just like me. He likes to care about other people, but he goes about it in such a shitty way that, you know, with let me just say, with all the cigarettes aren't cheap. They're like, what, $10 a pack or whatever? I don't know. cigarettes aren't cheap. He's drinking. You don't have to be drinking. You could learn how to quit smoking. That way you would have an extra money to, pay your fucking medical bills. And no job. And it's one thing. It's one thing to say, and I think he did say it at one point. It's one thing to say, yeah, I'm not working because I have to sit at home and take care of my 2 kids that are in wheelchairs, so I have no time to be looking for a job. But on the other hand, he's putting on shows for people that have really nothing to do with him, other than like friends. He has time for that. He has time to go to these shows. He has time for a birthday show / roast, and he has time and money to record a song in a studio. So in essence, that song that I wrote, it might sound a little goofy when you listen to it, but like I look back on it and I'm like, wow, that is a really fucking deep song. There's a part in the song where I say something like, you fall asleep smoking weed and spilt alcohol or something, and then the joint falls out of his mouth and burns down the house, and then only ashes remain. I mean, when you actually think about that, like, you can interpret it literally like, yeah, he's smoking joints, and he falls asleep smoking it while he was drunk, and he spills the whiskey. A joint comes out of his mouth, goes into the whiskey, and burns on the house, killing himself and his kids, and whoever else was in that house. You can interpret it literally, or you could sit there and say that. You could sit there and say that everything that he was spending his money on, if he didn't spend his money on weed, if he didn't spend his money on, whiskey, his kids would still be alive, because there would be no way to drop the joint if the joint didn't exist. There would be no way to not spill the whiskey, because the whiskey would not exist, and thus his kids would still be alive. So, you take money away from the kids to do stupid shit, and that's what could happen. I mean, it's kind of like an open for interpretation type of thing. I'm like the next, Kurt Cobain over here with my songwriting. I'm like the next, like, Marilyn Manson. You know what I'm saying? Like, you listen to Marilyn Manson, you don't know what the fuck he's talking about. Everything is symbolic and symbolism. Just like me now. I'm Buffalo's Marilyn Manson. I'm Buffalo's Kurt Cobain. You listen to Nirvana, you don't know what the fuck that man was talking about. But in reality, I'm like the Buffalo's Sid Barrett. Because Sid Barrett had Asperger's syndrome. And he was a fucking Looney Tune, like me. But no, seriously, my problem is that I care way too much about people, and it gets me in trouble. And he Dr. Nintendo was like, you get yourself involved in stuff that doesn't concern you. And I was talking about when he said that, I was actually talking about the story about Chris and what happened with that. And he said you get yourself involved in shit that you really don't have nothing to do with. But when you think about it, I actually do have something that I do. I am involved in it. You know, when the girlfriend gets pissed off over me and him going out to eat, I'm involved now because she's getting pissed off. I'm part of the reason she's getting pissed off. So now I am involved in the bullshit. You see what I'm saying? It's like, and I'm involved because now we have to keep it on the DL, you know, because you can't have the girlfriend knowing that, you know, you're going out to eat with one of your friends. What would happen if Bologna Arm got pissed off every time she went out to eat with one of her friends? You know, on her own. What would happen? And he would get all pissed off. That would be abuse, because it's, you know, it's a guy with a dick going after a girl with a vagina, and somehow now it's abuse. But, you know, when a woman does it to a man, then it's just, it's keeping them in line, you know. What if every time she wanted to go play with herself, and she keeps her, you know, Chris said, every time you want to play with yourself, here's a locked box, and the locked box is going to have a password on it, and every time you want to go into that locked box to get out your dildo, you have to type I love Chris every single time. And I you know, what if he did that? That would be a problem, wouldn't it? That'll be a fucking problem. See, that's my thought. That you know, that's my thought there. And yeah, I am involved because she gets pissed because of something me and him do. Me and him do. You know, me and him go out to eat. So I mean, that's a problem. That's a problem. That's a problem. You know, and I say it again and again and again. And it just seems like no one wants to listen. That's, you know what, this is going to be a good topic. I was actually planning, because the whole thing, I wanted to talk about Bologna Arm in my session today. Because he mentioned this last time I came in. He mentioned about the what do you call it? He mentioned about something about how I'm a good guy and I'm a nice guy and all that other shit, and I care for people, and it got me thinking, and Bologna Arm came up. I mean, Bologna Arm kind of popped in my head for a second there. And the whole story with him was that I'm a nice guy, and I tried to help him. You know, and I get it that he's pissed, but you know, I was just trying to help him. Even if it wouldn't, if it wasn't going to help his girlfriend, it would help him. You know, and I had that on my mind the whole time. I wanted to talk about this. So I think that next time I go in there, I'm going to probably, what would I want to talk about? I don't know. Probably something I did in Toronto. You know, but who the fuck knows? It just, oh my God. But I don't know. I gotta move. I gotta find a job. I gotta do all this shit because it's now a court order that I get a girlfriend. It's not. Could you imagine that though? Dicks coming to my house saying, "Hey, we have to arrest you." How come? Because you don't have a girlfriend. Could you imagine? Like, I mean, I know it sounds funny, but the judge said to comply with whatever a shrink says. Okay? The shrink says I have to get a girlfriend. If I don't get a girlfriend, that's not complying with a judge's order. That's contempt of court. That's criminal contempt of court. I don't know. Could you imagine me walking up into the, could you imagine walking into Echo South again? And they're like, it's the same guys that are in there, and they look at me with that look of disappointment, like, Mike, what did you do now? What the fuck did you do? Did you, like, don't, please tell me you didn't contact that fucking girl. Please tell me you didn't contact that girl and got yourself in trouble. You stupid motherfucker, you, Mike. Nah, dude, it had nothing to do with her. Really, what are you in for then? Drugs? Would you, like, touch a kid or something? Nah, nothing like that. What are you in here for then? Because I'm fucking single, that's why. And they're looking at me like, what the fuck? And I try to explain it. Well, yeah, when I was released, it's the judge's order says I have to see a shrink. And I have to comply with whatever the judge says. So, a judge's order says I have to comply with whatever a shrink says. So whatever a shrink suggests I do it. Okay? The shrink suggested that I get a girlfriend by June 21st, 2018. And if I don't have a girlfriend, I go back into the fucking slammer for a year. I wonder what... No, you know what the charge would be for that? If you looked up the charges, it'll just say criminal contempt of court. You know, it'll be saying... That's all it'll say. Because that's like... That's going against a judge's order. Judge's order is now that I get a girlfriend. Judge's order is now that I have to learn how to drive. Judge's order is that I have to move. And yeah, the other judge's order, I have to stay away from Zuki Babuki or whatever. You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, that's the whole thing. That's the whole gist of that. So, I'm not really happy. You know, I mean, I'm happy about it, but, you know, I mean, I want to learn how to drive. I want a girlfriend. I want to move. But I don't want to have to feel pressured into doing it or face a year in jail. You know what I'm saying? So, I'm done with this. And that's about it. Ugh.